Well, good day, everybody. Here we go again. So just snuck it in before the end of the hour. I've had a very busy morning doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's the 27th of January, and the fleet is making rapid time towards Antigua, which has created even more work now. So, but anyway, they're having a pretty impressive time, clocking up very handsome daily averages to head towards Antigua, so that's pretty impressive. And hopefully the internet and download speed is a little bit better today than it was yesterday. It was very fuzzy yesterday, and that's because Sundays everyone gets online here. And as I've mentioned a few times, I'm running off my phone at the moment to get the feed. We left our Starlink in Portugal. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to cut straight to the tracker now and start getting into it. So you've got the tracker there, and I've got the tracker here. And yeah, they're moving along quite nicely. We can just, we've got everyone on the fleet there. And the weather forecast is the same as we suggested before. I should probably just go through the motions just to confirm once again that the trade winds are really getting them moving. In fact, you can clearly see Antigua over here on the bottom left getting closer and closer. They're roaring along, so that's kind of good. And if we just drop back one more to see the influence of the weather as it's going across, we'll just start pushing it through. So here we go. In the next few hours, you can see basically the trades are there. The yellow patches, which is slightly stronger, is starting to diminish, and this is about just over a day, 24 hours ahead, and you can see it's got to be a constant blue. So wind speed's dropping back maybe from 25 to 20 knots, so it'll be 15 to 20 versus 20 to 25. So they'll slow down a little bit, but not for long, because if we keep pushing that through and we go through the next 24 hours, so there it is, it's still okay, it's still showing a bit of a hole, so maybe there's going to be 2 days of light stuff. We'll push it through again. We go through to the 30th, and maybe it is going to get light. Oh, that's encouraging. For me anyway, not for them. This patch down here is actually, I don't know whether they'll get to that in 3 days. They're going to be 330 miles or so in front, which could be about there. That's 300. Oh yeah, okay, so maybe there's a chance yet. So yeah, it could go soft on day 3. That's definitely a little bit of a change from yesterday. Yesterday the yellow patches were starting to kick in on the 30th. So let's see. Oh, there's no more yellow patches. That's coming through onto the 31st. Wow. Okay, so it's softening off. Actually, that could work in our favour. We want them to slow down. Don't tell them that, though, because we don't arrive until the 4th. So there's the 1st. Okay, so it starts to pick up again on the 1st. So they're going to have a fast finish. But that look like a potential for 2, maybe even 3 days where they might slow up a little bit. Not too much. Anyway, we'll just bring it back to today's weather and now go through each of their performance scenarios, copying what they've done. So there's the fleet there. So Jasmine down the back here, 4.3 knots and 96 mile day. Needs to keep trying to crack that 100 mile day. And Popeye, 119 mile day, 5.5. So that's pretty good. He's up pretty high. He's going to have to start heading down soon. But at least he's making good ground. And Little Wren here, 5.1 knot, 117 mile day. That's where you need to be. And that's Argo. Argo, 5.2 knots, 120 mile day. He's been over the course, and 1 minute he's shooting up north, and now he's dipping down towards the southwest again, trying to keep, just get a bit lower. You're obviously better if you can keep those deflections going smoothly. But if I had to hazard a guess, how much did it cost him? Well, it's probably cost him maybe 10 miles, which is 2 hours from all of that distance over the last few days. It doesn't make a huge difference, but at the same time, it's important to be as straight a course as you can. That always makes a difference. And in fact, if you had to say who's got the straightest course there at the moment, it's probably Renaud. You can see he hardly alters course at all, just keeps going dead straight line. We saw that with the fastest boat in the Golden Globe race, the last two editions. The guys who had the straightest lines ended up making the furthest distance. It can all add up, just these little ones with biggest monkey, all these little deflections, you straighten them out. If that was a bit of string laying on the table and you straighten it out, you could possibly push him from there up to about here somewhere. So if you look at the difference between hand steering and wind vane steering, you make all that effort there, it can actually be worthwhile watching closely what is happening to your course. Anyway, so Argo's doing okay, 120 mile day. John, with his sail configuration all a bit over the place, managed 104 mile day, 4.2. So it is affecting him, I reckon. Jacob, 5 knots and 123 mile day. That's healthy, looking good. And Immortal Game, Dan the Man, 122 mile day, 4.9 knots. That's okay for Australia Day. That would mostly be in there. January 26th is Australia Day, so a big deal in Australia. We did Little Wren, didn't we? Yeah, 117. Okay, so that's it. And here we have the lead bunch of 5. Definitely a breakaway situation. So 5.6 knots for Peeler and 137 mile day. Very cool. That's really good. And can't quite see. Little B pushing out 132 mile day, 4.9 knots. That's very respectable. Biggest monkey, 138 mile day. All very good. And making 6 knots, chasing down the leaders, but 136 for Origami. So biggest monkey took out a little bit there. And Renaud is 138. So Renaud is absolutely flying. He gave us a big post this morning talking about the squalls and still talking about his cooking, and everything's pretty cool on board. It'd be interesting to learn how he lost the 20 litres of water. Must have fallen over and had a steady leak while he was asleep or something. But everything seems to be well on board, so that's a pretty good situation. So let's look at the leaderboard, because this brings up the issue of estimated time of arrival, which has kept us really busy this morning because we've been trying to alter flights, but we gave up in the end. More of that in a minute. So Renaud is showing on the current speed, made good, especially for the last 24 hours even, an ETA of the 2nd of February at about 9 o'clock in the evening. And if we relate that to not maintaining that current speed, where he's doing 138 mile days, I think in those soft spots, you'll probably be back to 120 mile day, and that could last for 3 days. So that could be a difference of 60 miles, which could be about 10 hours. So I would think that we'll probably see Renaud sometime in the morning on the 3rd of February. It's a bit difficult to pick it right now, but I'd predict he's going to be there, in the morning on the 3rd of February. And Origami, probably he's showing early hours of the morning. I'd say it's probably going to be more like about midday on the 3rd for Origami. And then Biggest Monkey showing late on the 3rd. I reckon you'll see him early morning on the 4th. We're still not there at that stage. Little B is showing 5 o'clock, knockout 10 hours. We might just get Little B. So that was our biggest concern. We've been looking at flights and we cannot get anything that works for us to get there earlier. We're not there until late on the 4th of February. So, and I won't bore you with the details, but we can't get out on the 1st. It's just everyone's flying over there and the flight's not easy other than cancelling our entire ticket and going with a different airline, which is then another nightmare. So anyway, we've been speaking to a new representatives there, which I'll talk about in a minute. So Little B's cool, Peter Punk. I reckon that's going to be sometime early, or maybe late on the 4th. Peter Punk might be the first one we get for Jane and I. And then after that, they go in sequence. You just sort of add about 10 or 12 hours to each one of these ETAs, and they might be looking okay, except for the tail enders. You probably add in another day. Oh, well, that's showing the 10th. So yeah, they're pretty consistent in those speeds. So 10th of February, so yeah, 10th to 11th of February, something like that. They should be showing up. So they'll still have, close to, they'll have a good stopover. They'll have 12 days or so. So they should be able to get everything they need to get done and have a bit of a break and so on. So that's pretty much it there. We'll come back to the slot here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the scenario is that Captain Coconut is there on his boat. Captain Coconut from GGR fame. Some of you may be following him. He's going to be following the fleet around with his own boat. Another circumnavigation for him, maybe. And maybe Jill, not sure. We'll see how far she goes. And they're currently in Antigua, but they're at the other end of the island, and Ayrton is supposed to be there. So I put a call out to both of them today saying, hey, guys, we've been trying to schedule flights, can't do it. So they're going to get something organised, and we'll talk more about that later. So the welcoming committee will be Captain Coconut and Jill and Ayrton, and I'm not sure whether Azu's over there as well. But there'll be a few people there, and they'll get the photos and the videos and bits and pieces. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's our lot here. Let's see questions. John, see you so early, or yeah, not late. I tried it. My target is to try and do it between 1 and 2 local time. So that's between 12 and 1 GMT or UTC, so that it's just straight after that latest position update. G'day, SVCN. You watch Knockdown? Yeah, cool. Good to see the emotional side of a full-grown man. Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. That was a big deal for me at the time. I was a lot younger. I was, what was I then? 35. Yeah. So that was a while ago. We've seen this race as well. Yeah, it's quite a ride, as we spoke about yesterday. Yep, and Lenka, another update. Keeps you dreaming about you next time. It's not too late in the night for us. And I was okay. Yeah, well, this is my target time, somewhere preceding this by now. What does the leaderboard show if you change the VMG to recent instead of start? Well, it actually can distort it even more, because if you go with the, I'll come back to that and I'll do it again when I finish this one. So I'll keep my fingers crossed so that I don't forget, and I'll go back and I'll show you what happens. Hi, Christine, Jonathan, time to the start to go fund me page for a corporate jet. Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be fun? I'll be in Antigua taking arrival photos also. When do you arrive, Christine? Because anyway, but Ayrton will be there. I think you've met Ayrton before, and Captain Coconut, so that's cool. Oh yeah, you met Coconut because he's in the OGR. He did the OGR on the Explorer. So that's cool. All right, I'm going to just, that's all the questions, but I'll just shoot back and just show you the what happens with from the start or recents. The start's more of an average because it's a consistent average. Here we go. So that's there. I'm here. We go down here. And you can do this, by the way, anytime. You can get onto the website, just the Transat website or the Mini Globe Race website, and then go over to the live. This is on the follow here. There's a tracker there, or if you're on the home page, here's the home page. Just scroll down. In fact, we'll probably upend these. We'll probably start putting these boxes where that home page is, because I'm sure some people get on and they don't even know to scroll down and find it. It's probably more relevant to have this as the opening shot and then scroll down to see the rest. So anyway, if you're there, you just go to follow, go to tracker. I'll just see if I can. No, I can't actually go back. If I go back, it won't be there. I'll have to. Oh no, it's still there. Okay, so this is it. And if we go line honours is line honours. If we go from the start, if we take as Renaud as the target, he's ETA on that one, and VMG right now for the last 4 hours is 5.5 knots. But it's the ETA is based over the whole thing from the start. If we go down recent, so 2nd of February, 21:30, it goes 2nd of February to 1300, so it loses about 9 hours. So he's going to be here 9 hours earlier because his VMG is faster at the moment, So it's a nominal thing. It's not a lot because they've been pretty consistent as well, but that's probably the only only thing that's variable in here, because there's no handicapping. And we usually leave on the start because it's an average. It's better to use the calculations for your ETAs, which is the most common thing we use this for in the closing stage. So that's that one. Okay, I think that's all I have to do. Just check to see if February. Yeah, I know February, but what date? Oh, 1st of February. Oh, cool. Okay, so you'll be there as well. Very good. All right, so we'll follow up on that, Christine. And but Ayrton's there, and then we've got Captain Coconut as well. So good afternoon. Hope everything's okay with the Civic Sailors from Portugal. Okay, yeah, I might be there on Thursday and Friday. Got some meetings down there. Vamos, Peter Punk. Go, Peter Punk. Alrighty. So, silly comment for the day. It just reminded me when I say Vamos, Peter Punk. When we came through Seville in the plane, I had a really funny moment. The air hostess, as I'm getting off the plane, says, "Adios, amigos." So, nothing funny about that, unless you haven't heard that saying for like about 40 years. And when I was a kid, there used to be a television program called The Cisco Kid. And hey, Poncho, hey, they always used to say, "Adios, amigos." And I hadn't heard that line from the TV program for like 40 years or more. I can't even remember it. And I just cracked out laughing, and Jane couldn't get over it. She said, "What's so funny?" And I just get to "Adios, amigos." But anyway, okay, I digress. So thanks for that. We'll see you again tomorrow. And let's hope they keep doing what they're doing. They're all having fun. They're all talking about the whole lot that's going on. We're just Ayrton's flying in today. Cool. All right. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll see if I can press the right buttons and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, here we go.
Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.